Welcome. My name is Pat Wetzel, and I'm the founder of the Anti-Cancer Club. I'm a reasonably adventuresome person. I've traveled and lived in a number of places, went to an Ivy League school, worked in financial markets. I ski, hike, kayak, play tennis. I'm a private pilot, and I fly sailplanes. I'm also a total foodie. But my biggest adventure so far has been dealing with cancer and the changes it's brought into my life. Cancer turned my world upside down. It's introduced new thoughts, ideas, and perceptions into my life, and I want to share that with you. It's relevant because we're all on a life adventure. What will we make of it? This isn't just for cancer patients and their families. It's a quest for discovery that impacts all of us. The food we eat, the thoughts we think, and the people we surround ourselves with impact our health on a daily basis. Through stories, science, and medicine, we'll look at the incredible impact our choices have on our own lives. Our guest is Dr. Peter Edelstein. Peter is a double board certified surgeon specializing in cancer. His book, Own Your Cancer, is an incredible resource for every cancer patient. Welcome, Peter.
Thank you, Pat. I'm glad to be with you.
Why is it critical for someone to own their cancer?
Well, in my experience, which is decades of experience of working with patients, including a number of cancer patients, I've really learned from them, and I've witnessed those patients and their loved ones who have learned the basics, educated themselves, made sure they had a seat at the table when decisions are made, which is really the foundation of the Own Your Cancer concept. And I can't guarantee you that that means their cancer outcomes are different. I have my own suspicions, but what I can tell you is for many of those people, if not most of them, it really does improve their quality of life and makes them feel empowered in that cancer journey. And that alone clearly has had its benefits for the patients, their spouses, their children, their friends. As adults, owning those kind of complex and important processes are part of what we do. And just because it's cancer or something in healthcare, that's no reason to voluntarily abandon all of your ownership and your responsibility and leave that to people you really don't know.
Peter, what specifically can every cancer patient do to own their cancer?
The first thing that I suggest to people is take a breath, and that catches everyone off guard. It's important to realize that while there are a few situations, such as a cancer that's causing bleeding or obstruction, or a few very uncommon cancers like inflammatory breast cancer, which grow really rapidly, if you separate out those, most cancers are slow enough growing that once you learn you have the diagnosis of cancer, you should take a breath and kind of regroup the same way you would if you were faced as a leader of a business or someone in your own family when you're faced with something that's very challenging. You take a breath and you have to think about who is going to help me. You know, in a nutshell, and some of my physician colleagues may not like hearing it, but in a nutshell, oncologist, the doctor who provides chemotherapy, doesn't have to be at the Mayo Clinic. Your community oncologist, if they're up to date on how to care for your type and stage of cancer, treatment as they give at the Mayo Clinic or Memorial Sloan Kettering or all of the top institutions. Similarly, radiation oncologists deliver radiation to certain types of cancers. As long as they have the right equipment, they can have the same treatment directions, protocols, as you do in the big centers. Surgery is different. When you go to sleep in my operating room, truly, the outcome is largely in my hands. You want to know that I have good experience, good judgment, and good technical skills. There are surgeons at very famous cancer institutions who really aren't very good surgeons. And there are surgeons in practices who are outstanding cancer surgeons. So when you think about the surgeon, they're unique. You want to ask the surgeon, if first, then ask the surgeon directly, how often does that surgeon operate on people not just with your cancer type, but your stage? So you may have a common cancer, you may have a breast cancer, but if it's very advanced, certain surgeons don't do a lot of advanced breast cancer surgery. You want to gauge their experience, specific type and stage, and their interest in your type of cancer. And then the last one's important, Pat. Just like everything else in life, doctors in their practice are interested in certain types of cancers more than others. And you want to find a doctor who's interested and passionate about your type of cancer and has experience with your type and stage.
Is there more information on your website?
Absolutely. The site is www.ownyourcancer.com. Not only information about purchasing the book, but there's some resources helping you figure out how to, what type of treatments are truly supplemental, which we support, versus alternative, which we don't. So there are a lot of resources there.
Peter, thank you so much for being with us.